one second.
So part two, Root's back again in the house, in
Yes,
the dungeon.
can believe it.
Yeah. So I think like what you were saying before you got cut off by bad connection is that you really wanted to drive towards the completion of Plan A, which was the solo album,
Right.
but you were not, you were not annoyed by the fact that the tribe call was coming for the last album because that was sort of constituting a Plan B, but still you
I,
were.
yeah, I, he was annoyed by it. He was annoyed because he felt like, just by the gods, every time he wanted to do something solo, this tribe thing would come around and disrupt.
Yeah.
So I said to him, I said, you know what? It doesn't have to disrupt. We can utilize your time with tribe, whatever you do. Let's always have a plan for ourselves in that plan, you know? So if we were going to be traveling to New Jersey to record with Q-Tip at his house in Jerobi, let's take the evenings or the mornings and go to New York and have meetings and get stuff done. And we kind of worked it that way.
And so that was around the time where it was the 25th anniversary of People's Instinctive, right? Or was that before then even?
It was the anniversary. Let's see. Yeah, so we did Jimmy. It was after Jimmy Fallon, which I think was November,
Uh huh.
where the group started talking about doing something, figuring out something, and figure out if we could travel to New Jersey and do it, and trying to convince him that it was smart to do it, and so that's where it all kind of started. It was November 2015.
And so, two questions here. One, the Phife album was like 90% made, the solo album. At
In
that
our
point,
heads, in our heads, it was. We knew we had to get done 3 or 4 songs. Yep.
yeah. And two, the second question is, it's not a lie that the Tribe album, Thank You for Your Service, got really made in the space of 10 months.
Um. Well, originally they were trying to get it done in the month of December. Like after we did Fallon in November, they wanted to start in the beginning of December and drop it New Year's Day in at Jack White's studio in Tennessee or wherever it was. I can't remember where his studio was. And that just was there was no way because they hadn't recorded together since '96,
Mm-hmm.
95, '96. Phife was like, we have to kind of learn how that works again, you know. So Q-Tip thought he could get it done, and we didn't think it was possible because it'd be rushing it, and it's a sensitive topic, the tribe album, so you don't want to just put anything out. Phife was not going to just put anything out. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of stretched it out and said. Then the deadline started getting pushed back. Okay, let's do it February, and then it was like March, April, and it just kept getting pushed back.
And so what I would be really interested now to hear is you as the manager, the best friend, the DJ,
Right.
somehow, because I guess, I mean, I don't know if that, that tension in terms of the health, was it still like normal up and down and it's normal, or did you see a deterioration? Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce
Yeah.
that word in English, but
Yeah.
deterioration
Deterioration.
happen.
Yep. Not necessarily. I think Phife was happiest performing. He's happiest recording, and clearly happiest being around his childhood friends. And in going to Jersey, he was doing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So his energy level was different. He wasn't sick and down. He was up and working. He was going to his clinic visits. I would look at him and be like, who? I would tell him, who are you? Like, you're up at like 5 in the morning, go to clinic, come back, breakfast, ready for studio. So he was his happiest then. So it's hard to say, if he was healthy internally, but looking at him physically, you couldn't tell. It was no different than any other time.
And so, what would you respond to this? The what I told you before we got cut off about the mixed perception in Europe. I mean, what would you tell this audience? I mean, of course, you can't please everyone, right? But
Right.
even the hardcore fans, die-hard fans of Tribe, that have loved every album of Tribe and that were eagerly waiting for this one, came out like some of them here in Europe,
For sure.
and
Honestly,
and there was sort of I mean, the trend was that there was sort of like a general Tip diss around that because they felt like sort of Tip hijacked this thing.
Yeah.
And all due respect to Tip, because he's a giant, he's a pioneer, he's a legend.
Sure.
That's not what I think, by the way.
Sure. I mean,
But
honestly, like, I can see that. I can see from a Tribe purist standpoint, because I was the same way. When they were recording on it, there were certain beats I would hear, and I'd be like, that's not what I imagined they would be doing. You know what I mean? Like the sound and the sounds they were picking, just personally, like as a Tribe fan. Um, and I would tell Phife, you like that beat? Like really? Like, but I think I would tell fans this. I would say bigger than the album being out and what was created. The bigger story is completion. The bigger story is nothing's final. The bigger story is friendships can be repaired.
yeah,
They can be repaired, and I saw that. Like there was times, it's hard for me to switch off from fan, manager. It's kind of a blend. So I'd be sitting in the studio watching them from another room. I had pictures, and you just see like blurry shadows of Tip and Phife. And in my wildest dreams, I would bet against that ever happened. That they would even be able to sit in the same room and talk about creating music together. So his studio has like different instruments, and then there's headphones for you to hear what's going on completely. So I'd hear them talking and recording in the other studio, or hear things, and I'm sitting there like it's like listening to a unicorn. Like I can't believe this is happening. You know what I mean? So I understood like no matter what the album sounded like, the lesson wasn't the album, and the lesson wasn't because for years Tribe pleased their fans. You know what I mean? But who pleases Tribe? Who gives them the satisfaction? I think in a selfish way, the album would allow them to be friends again.
yes.
Well, if you look at the course of 6, 7 albums or whatever it was, if they take one album as their own to be able to mend their friendship based on what they've contributed to music and the world, it's a small thing for them to ask.
And maybe I'm suspecting wrongly, but like the type of beats I like less is like Solid Wall of Sound, for example. I don't know if that was your same one, but
Well, here's the thing.
but even that one, when I listen to it now, sorry, just
no, it's fine.
you know, when I hear Phife rapping in the style of rapping he got on that, and then Busta come in, that blend is beautiful, and I love Solid Wall of Sound.
Yeah, it's giving me chills thinking about it because two things about Solid Wall of Sound is that was the last time that session was his last trip to Jersey,
Oh my
and that's
God.
the last song they recorded in the studio together.
Oh my God.
And I was there for that. And the crazy thing about that is, I had worked out a deal with GoPro, and I set up 3 cameras, just recording the whole time. And I have that session in GoPro footage, and just to be there and to see like the energy between them and the cadence and how they were trading verses and no, say it like this. No, Tip, say it like this. No, don't do that. Do this. And they were bouncing. What you hear on the record is very real. They were all there for that. Like, so when you hear it, it's a sonic. It's like watching the best artist just paint like a stroke there and take his time and then another stroke there. So what you feel on that record after you listen maybe a couple times, it's very real. Like, energy was incredible on that record because Busta wasn't supposed to be on that song. He was just there. He just happened to come.
Roots, you're like right now. I'm just like a body invaded by emotions.
That's awesome, man.
It's really beautiful. And
it's a very just that song and funny thing is, another story is that beat is the only beat on the album that is what it was when Phife recorded on it. That one. Everything else, when I heard the album out, it's my first time hearing those beats.
so I won't have you promise me anything because, but I have a dream right now. Now that you told me this, is I have a dream that one day.
Before you stop, the footage is on my laptop, and my laptop goes wherever I go. So if I'm in the same room with you, I will show it to you.
No, I have a dream. Is even better than that. Is that there will be a movie one day directed by DJ Rasta Roots
Oh shit, man.
of the sessions, and that we will screen that movie
That's
in
your best of all.
Geneva and in Zurich and everywhere in
That'd be
Switzerland
crazy, man.
together.
I mean, it's the most simplest, probably. How can I say it? If it was any other group, you'd be like, "What the fuck am I watching? This is dumb." But because it's who it is, and because you're seeing shit, you're like, "What?" And I've known them for years, and I'm like, "This is crazy." Like Buster's cadence. I could hear me telling him on the tape. I was like, "Buster, your cadence is crazy." Like his, it's like a robot. Like yeah, he didn't write anything down. It was all in his head.
Incredible,
Yeah,
incredible.
man.
And even when I mean, the thing is, I have to tell you, I did shed some tears on the Donald as well because
Sure.
the Donald has Phife on it, but it has Tip and Busta, and
Right.
it's like a how can how do you say that in English? A hymn. How do you say it?
Right.
An anthem
Yep.
for their friendship because
Yep.
not only there's the 4 minutes where they're rhyming, there's like this 4 minute outro where repeatedly uh, Busta comes back with the five dog, what I
Yeah.
gone with the crew, five
We'll
dogs, five
stop
dogs.
right there. Stop right there and just listen to this really quick.
Oh my God.
So that actually is the original Don Juice beat.
Oh my God.
Donald beat. It was called Don Juice at the time, but I think Kanye used the same sample on No More Parties in L.A., so they didn't use it. But
Hmm.
that's the beat that Phife spit on, and that actually what you heard was they record everything live. So Tip was on the turntables, Bus in front of the mic, Phife sitting there, Jerobe's there. You hear people yelling in the background. It was just a vibe, an energy, and that's how they were creating just by trying different shit. And I just happened to be there. Well, they sent me this because Phife was going to record on it, but I have video of little clips of all these little parts. So it's something you got to tape it. You can't not tape it. You know what I mean?
So I have a dream. That's all I'll say.
Another drink.
Listen, man. So you're definitely confirming that there was a crazy positive energy during the process of
Yes,
the creation of that
absolutely,
album.
absolutely.
That at no point in time, I mean, of course, that you're gonna always have moments of tension, but that the
Yes.
clash of the egos didn't happen again.
No, I'll give no. I think everybody has their own ego, but I think it really was like them coming to peace. Like it really was. You could see it. It was like you want to fight it because you're so used to it be going the other way. When it's going right, you're like something's not right because this is not normal. But it was the new normal for them. So there was one time we were upstairs about to leave the house, and the manager were talking, and then we turn our backs and we hear there's music playing in Tip's house all the time. We turn around and Tip and Phife are doing old school dances together. Like you know what I mean? Like so if that doesn't say they were friends, anybody says they're not friends, enemies don't do that. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. I mean, so they had found a place. It wasn't Nirvana or it wasn't Shangri-La as far as perfection, but nothing's perfect. But for a moment in time, they were friends again, and that's the beautiful, to me, the lesson in all this.
And it's almost like symbolical. And that's probably the penultimate thing before we talk about your future and what you're gonna do.
Sure.
But you know, taking us to the most difficult part of this whole story,
Sure.
which is difficult, but at the same time so beautiful based on what you're just telling me, which is that
Sure.
it was almost symbolical that they reunited just before the passing, and
Yep.
so I don't know if I can go there, but that passing moment, everything that happened afterwards, I really, as a die-hard fan, again, hardcore fan, I followed all that. I watched the Apollo stuff,
Yep.
You know, the celebration of the street name. You know, how was that? How was living that roots?
I mean, it's funny you say that because I think without being diagnosed, I think I'm a workaholic and don't know it. Like I just work endlessly. My mind's always going and going. So it was hard for me once he passed. I worked in overdrive once he passed. There wasn't a moment until later on where I was like, holy shit, I might be depressed. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
something might not be right, and it's okay that it's not right. Something drastic in your life happened. Your best friend is no longer here. The person you can tell anything to at any given time is not here anymore, you know? So that was the hardest part is like, it was unexpected. So what do I do now? You know what I mean? Like, so initially when it first happened, I jumped into, so the funeral arrangements and the Apollo thing, I produced that along with the TV station because it kept me occupied. So
Mm.
everything you saw, we were behind the scenes getting that done. So I didn't even have a chance to just be sitting there like, fuck, Phife is gone. I was going. You know, and even when I got back home after that, no, I didn't have to do any more work, but I was on the computer, kept working, and I felt something pulling my eyelids closed. Like literally, I felt like somebody pulling my eyelids closed, and I just passed out on the couch. And like, holy shit, I'm beat. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I recognize now that I am exhausted, which before I was like in an autopilot mode. You know, so he passed away on a Tuesday, and I think I flew to, you know, it happened. I was the one who broke the news to his father. I was the one who broke the news to his whole group. I had to call them, which sucked. You know what I mean? I had to call Jerobi. Well, I called Tip. Jerobi was at Tip's house. I called Ali. I had to tell him. I called De La Soul. I told him. And it was good for me because I didn't have a crazy... I broke down, but I composed myself enough to do what his wife asked me to do. So the blow wasn't super hard. It was hard. It was hard because everywhere you turned, it was some fight something. You know what I mean? Everywhere. You swore he was Prince or Michael Jackson. That's how his passing affected the hip hop community. You couldn't turn anywhere without seeing a hashtag or something. So I decided to jump into work and get stuff done so that his mom, his dad, his wife could properly grieve without having to worry about organizing too much logistics. That was my job, and I guess that was my final managerial duty, you know, for my friend. So I just went all in with that, and I think it was good for me because it didn't send me into a dark place right away. I definitely been in some dark places where I had to recognize, hold on, like you're hurting. You're not acknowledging to yourself that you're hurting. You know.
Yeah.
The beautiful part of it all, I think, is that in his own way, I don't know if it's God or who it was, but that he believed in that helped him tie the bow on parts of his life with his family, his father, his mom, his wife, me. Our last conversation. So he died the Monday night. Well, actually Tuesday morning, 3 in the morning my time, which is 12 his time. I just jumped in bed, and you know the 3 hour difference in time means it's 12 o'clock his time. So I saw the phone. It said Phife on it. I'm like, man, I can just call him tomorrow. I'm tired. He just probably wants to talk shit. So I put the phone down. It kept ringing. I was like, I picked it up. You know, I think that was God saying, your friend's gonna say goodbye to you. You know what I mean? So it was the most pure, like intimate, honest conversation and redefinition of friendship. You know what I mean? Like, it's touching to think about it, but like I'm so glad that I picked up the phone to talk to him because I think I would be really. It would have made his passing a lot harder had I not picked up the phone to just talk about what we meant to each other. You know, so it's pretty crazy. It's crazy.
Brother. Um, thank you for
No, of course.
thank you for sharing.
It's very I'm a sensitive person, so it's very.
Well, I am too, as you can see. I mean, I've lost my brother when I was 25, so
I'm sorry to hear that.
I really feel you.
Yeah,
It's
but I also want like I want to speak about it when I speak about it because there's people right now out there that don't talk to family members or friends, and they're letting the smallest thing get in the way of that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if Tribe isn't a lesson on that, or me and Phife, that you can overcome anything.
Yes.
Any issue you have with somebody is not a physical issue like a wall. It's something you have in your head, a wall you built. If you build the wall, you can break the wall down. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to speak about it, but I know it's important because there's people out there dealing with that within themselves, forgiving themselves for things, as well as forgiving family members or whoever, like coworkers, anything like that, or problems with a spouse or something. So I think Phife's lesson needs to be shared with the world, and Phife's impact. I really feel like my friend was an angel loaned to us, and the loan time was over.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, it's really deep. I can't believe we're having that conversation, actually, man.
Crazy, man. It's crazy. But I don't. I feel safe with you. So, and obviously your viewers, and it's not a secret how I feel about Phife. It's
No.
not a secret.
And
Yeah. So.
and as you
But I
said,
think
it's a
it's
beautiful
good.
thing to share.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to
Absolutely.
share that.
Absolutely.
And the other thing I wanted to say is that you know, and clearly everything you've said right here. I mean, literally, when I was again preparing for our discussion, I went onto Phife's Instagram, and you are the last picture with Phife on
That's
Phife's
crazy.
official Instagram. This is
And it's
crazy.
so many different. It's like you say, like I realized because after he passed, I was still posting, stuff related to his passing on his page. But in thinking about it, I was like, you know what? I want to leave the page as a legacy page, which is everything he did to the day he last posted, and that was his last post. And that actually was. It's funny that even that picture, everything to me is symbolic. Like have you seen the movie Life with Eddie Murphy? Eddie Murphy. And,
Yeah. I
right.
did.
So
Martin Lawrence.
exactly. So I always said to him, like, I see you and I as being Martin Lawrence and Eddie at the end of the movie at the baseball game, old guys, best friends. That last conversation with him on the phone, we spoke about that. When we were going to the ferry to go to New York, I have these feelings that come across me sometimes. There's a line in the movie where they talk about the upper room, which is heaven. And we were walking towards the ferry, and out the blue, sometimes I just blurt stuff out, and I just sang that. I said the upper room, out of nowhere. I just said it. And coming back from that trip, we did all these meetings. Came back, I'm tired from working all day. We're going to the studio that night. He was excited. He's like, yo, let's take this picture. I was like, nah, I'm just tired, man. And I said again, I was like, all right, fuck it, let me take the picture. And that was the last picture we kind of took together. Like
Crazy.
Nothing's by chance. I'm sure there's things that I passed up on that I would regret, but I don't remember. But those are ones that I'm like, I'm so glad that I put my fatigue aside to take a simple picture with my best friend, with the New York scenery background. Like he's a New Yorker. Like it doesn't get more New York than that. And that the fact that was his last post makes it even crazier. Like what else? I don't have to say anything else. You know what I mean?
It's legacy, man. It's just legacy. And as you can imagine, right now there's a guy sitting in New York and another guy sitting in Switzerland. I mean, I was born in Lebanon. What would have connected us?
For sure.
It's tribe. What connected us is the love
Yeah.
for the culture, is that culture that was created, and I'm so thankful for that. So that was a very touching moment,
No doubt.
Roots, and I'm again humbled and honored to be talking to you about that. I can't actually believe it myself. Thank you so
That's
much.
crazy. Thank you, man. That's awesome.
Listen, the last thing. So what's next for you? What are you doing right now? What's up with the future?
Yeah, it's funny you said that because I think once he passed, because I dedicated, a large part of my professional life to him, and it's a risky part because, the music industry is risky and you might have huge plans and you put a project out and it could fail just because of the marketplace, So, I'm determined to complete his album and release his album because that's what I know he would have wanted hands down more than anything. So I'm tasked with doing that, and I'm going to stop at nothing to complete that task and keep his legacy and his memory, and that no one ever forgets who he was as a person. Every person who's met him, big or small, short or long time, has a connection with him, has a memory of him in some way, they can tell his story. There's a story can be told, even if you met him for 2 seconds. There's something he did in that time that you're going to remember. That was really special about him. As big as he was, and his group was, and is, as affecting music, he never really, I don't think he ever really understood, or even, not that he didn't care about the impact, he got it, but he was like, okay, cool, I did that. What's next? You know what I mean? It wasn't something he tried, they set out to do, it just happened, you know? So he was the most humble person I ever met. Like,
yeah, he didn't realize he was a legend. I mean,
he didn't realize he didn't stick on that. He didn't feed on it. He was just like, oh yeah, I know. I was like, Phife, you realize that lady just told you her son was in jail and got out because of this tribe? He's like, yeah, I know. He didn't really understand how people would love to have that type of impact on the world. He didn't discredit it. He just was being who he was, and that's why I say he was an angel, because he worked selflessly and endlessly without even knowing he was working, you know?
so Roots, listen, thank you really very much. I really enjoyed, and you understand why now it's called FaceTime therapy, right?
No, it's dope. It's dope. Yeah, it's dope. Thank you.
I really enjoyed it, and I hope I'll see you soon, and we'll connect.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.